Right, so we're all gathered here today to discuss what we each believe to be the most important thing for a coaching session. So I've chosen innovation. Innovation is defined as the use of a new idea or method by the Cambridge Dictionary. And in terms of how this would look in a coaching session, it would be the presenting of a new idea. So maybe you warm up by doing the standard running to the line and back. But instead of doing that, a new idea could be like playing TIG or something. Anderson, Knowles and Gilborn, 2004, acknowledged that reflective practice is the latest topical strategic method that could help sport coaches explore their decisions and experiences. So reflecting on that, that's just basically giving you the best way to come up with a new idea. Hughesley and Chesterfield, 2009, say, in addition to this, the role of reflection within coach education allows for sports coaches to explore their decisions and experiences which can reinforce and develop new ideas.
I chose engagement. So according to the Cambridge Dictionary in 2019, being busy while you are doing something describes engagement. Making your sessions engaging for all participants is important because it means everyone is involved, and if they're engaged, it means they are getting some sort of pleasure or enjoyment out of it. This will then in turn encourage them to take part in physical activity further on in their lives. So for example, experience of fun can lead to continued sport participation over time. This was said by Bissek et al. In 2015. This is important because regular participation in physical activity is imperative for good health, because active people benefit from higher levels of health-related fitness and are at lower risk of developing many different disabling medical conditions than active people are. This was described by Janssen in 2007. This therefore, in my opinion, shows engagement's importance to the Diamond Nine, because if it lays out a foundation for further social and physical benefits. To use engagement in a sport in practice, you could make the session more fun and enjoyable, make it accessible for all the participants, and try and lower the queuing and waiting around of your participants.
I'm Ryan and I've done empathy. The Oxford Dictionary described this as the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. I believe it's vital to empathise when coaching, as if you can't understand the feelings of others and share them, then there could be a misalignment to session objectives. For example, a player could turn up to training to see their mates and socialise, yet your sessions are solely based around talent development and improving performance. By not understanding and empathising with the player's reasoning to turn up to training, you're not using your ability to empathise. Research undertaken by Boyatzis in 2013 states that coaching with compassion invokes a psychophysiological state that enables a person to be open to new compassion. By allowing this, a performer is more engaged and has an enhanced experience within your session. However, by not allowing this to occur, a player may drop out from sessions and teams. Research done by Crane and Temple in 2015 discovered 5 major themes for dropping out of sport, 2 of them being perceptions of competence and social pressures. Both can be emphasised through the use of tone of voice and approachability. It's very easy to integrate empathy, as it only takes a few simple questions to each player to gauge how they feel, such as how was school, are you enjoying it? This can be done in drinks breaks or pre-arrival activities.
Hello, my name's Adam, and I've done it on simplicity. The definition of this is when something is easy to do and to understand. This is important to put in your coaching sessions because kids can get bored with complex drills, as it's in their nature to get on with it and play. The simpler the instructions and the simpler the layout of your training sessions, the better for the kids. They understand what to do, it enables the session to flow, and it avoids confusion. It also maximises their development. Johan Cruyff once said, football is simple, but the hardest thing is to play simple football. What this means is that the simple things in sport are the hardest to do in the game, but if worked in the coaching coaching sessions, then the simple stuff can be the most effective. It's also important to have simplicity in your coaching sessions because you have to recognise that kids have been learning at school for 6 hours. So to not complicate things is very important, and to keep them happy, as they may see that you're coaching in a school environment and they may lose interest, so they don't want to go to school and then be in another school environment when you're coaching. They just want to have fun and enjoy it and do the simple things as well as developing. Fourier 1854 tells us that simplicity can be integrated into coaching by getting rid of unnecessary objects or tasks. When telling the participants what the task and coaching points are, it shouldn't be no longer than a minute, as you lose their concentration and then they won't understand what to do, and this also affects their development. To help keep it simple into your coaching sessions, use clear short instructions, have a clear layout, e.g. don't have loads of corners in the grid, don't have loads of bits, make it simple from a visual point of view as well. Simple coaching points, don't overcomplicate it again, e.g. Make the sessions fun. So if you make the sessions fun, the kids will enjoy it more, but they're also developing themselves as well.
I'm James, and the factor I chose to go for is inclusion, which is defined as the idea that everyone should be able to use the same facilities, take part in the same activities, and enjoy the same experiences, including people who have disabilities or other disadvantages. The reason I think this is so important is because firstly, if you get everyone sort of involved and included, then your session runs a lot more smoothly. As well as this, it can help overcome barriers. So if, for example, someone's not included, this could build up a barrier and people might start to think why they're not included and start to build up stereotypes which can just make the problem worse and worse. As well as this, enjoyment levels are always a lot higher when everyone's included in your sessions, no one's bored. For example, if a child's left out, they may become more and more isolated from the group as time comes on and then stop attending the sessions, which is the worst thing that can happen. And finally, a reason it's so important is because once you're involved and engaged in the session, you feel like you're sort of contributing and helping out your teammates, which can sort of help you feel a closer bond towards them and your coach, because you feel like you're doing something good for them. And the importance of inclusion can be supported by Marivaux, who in 2014 stated that it is consensual that sport is a cultural phenomenon with huge potential in bringing people, cultures and nations together. Then just looking at how you would do this, I'd say the main thing you can do in your sessions is to group people by ability, so that, for example, the worst of players playing with someone that's a really high standard, they don't sort of feel isolated if they can't do what the rest of the group can do. As well as this, if you're playing games, you can add in conditions. For example, in football, if you're playing a match, set the condition that everybody has to have a touch of the ball before that team can score, just so that everyone's getting involved and contributing to the session. And then finally, I'd say just avoid drills that had people queuing up and stood around doing nothing. Just a final piece of research I looked at from Mann and Crane in 2018, who did a study on inclusion of lesbian basketballers playing college sport. They found that the most effective methods were when the athletes engaged in introducing inclusive norms which normalise diverse sexualities and being inclusive, as well as purposefully communicating the norm of inclusion to teammates as soon as they join the team.
Okay, so I'm Benny, and I'm doing accommodation. So definition from the Cambridge Dictionary of accommodation is it's the eager or willingness to give what is needed to somebody. Why is this important as a coach? So as a coach, you have to treat your athletes as an athlete. This can be through providing them with an experience that can be fun and engaging. Nuremberg in 2001 said that assimilation and accommodation are entwined processes that moderate an individual's response to the environment. If I was to put this into a coaching session, if I had a basketball team, I would want the best for them to be able to practice. So I'd want them to have the best facilities possible. So the best sports hall, the best basketballs, cones, bibs. And the reason why I want that is to give them the best opportunity for the game and to be able to develop and stay engaged with it at all times by making it fun and enjoyable.
Hi, I'm Tom. And two factors that I'm going to cover to make a good coach is flow and relevancy. So, starting off with flow, the definition from the Cambridge Dictionary is an optimal psychological state that typically occurs when there is a balance between the perceived challenge of the situation and the person's skill or capabilities for action. So, Jackson and Roberts said that participants that experience flow are more likely to enjoy their sport. If flow occurs, then there's going to be a greater chance of the holistic development, socially, tactically, physically and psychologically, as the session will be maximised effectively for the time management. So how can this be done? So a coach might use a whiteboard to speed up the explanation, they might set up early, they might have an assistant to help them organise, they might even just have a fun and engaging game that has a clear progression, and they might even just have a high percentage of ball time on the session just to make sure they're getting involved and not explaining that much. So linking this to relevancy, I believe this is quite important. From the Cambridge Dictionary again, definition is the degree to which something is related or useful to what is happening or being talked about. This is important that the coach is talking about their sport and linking to the session that they're talking about. So if the coach isn't talking about the correct information, it will disengage the players, as that is not what they want to hear, and it might disrupt their learning and then ultimately link them back to the flow, affect the flow of the session. So an example might be a football coach just explaining about contact tackling in football, because this will be deemed as irrelevant and illegal in football, and this could potentially be dangerous to the players. So it's teaching them the wrong skill, and then it will affect the overall flow as players might become disengaged.
So I'm Dec, and finally we're going to talk about rewards. So the Cambridge Dictionary in 2019 said rewards is defined as something given in exchange for good behaviour or good work. I believe this is important because rewards can come in different forms, which will be extrinsically or intrinsically. Intrinsic rewards can include praise, whereas extrinsic rewards can be tangible objects like medals or trophies. With that in mind, DSI in 1971 found that positive feedback for performance improves already existing internal motivation. This shows us rewarding good behaviour or good work can improve someone's desire and motivation, which in turn develops their fun and love for the game, as well as their performance goals. This is simply shown by the fact that if you don't push yourself, you would clearly have no interest in what you are doing at all. So this can be integrated into your session by doing it extrinsically, such as providing man of the match awards, player of the season, or winning trophies, or equally could be done intrinsically, offering praise for a really good performance, or giving man of the match awards without the trophy or medal.